Live.
Welcome to the big show, people. We are going to discuss an interesting female here. To say the least, an interesting female. You're going to get the words, you're going to get the lyrics, and you're going to get to hear. If you hadn't heard it yet, you may not want to hear it. But when you are washed up and you got nothing going for you, what do? Create controversy so people can talk about you, especially when you're an overweight has-been, can't sing no more, don't know how to keep a pitch when you're singing. This is what you do. You try and stay relevant by saying something stupid. So
don't you have to be something to be a has-been?
She kind of was. She got this big fluff under her dress, and
she
thought
it
was
some
something.
good music. She good music.
So here we go. We're gonna be back with the info, and you go make your own assumptions about it. But I've already.
And then we're gonna analyze Big Shirley.
Made mine. It's
we'll
fine.
Big Shirley. We'll be back. Hang on in a brief second. Well. I'm doing that.
Well, that's the big show.
What's his name? No Life Shack. He does that a lot. Well.
It's one of those. This is one of those wade in the water episodes. Wade,
bruh. This lady, man. This lady.
God.
Well, there's a motherfucker right here.
I think we're gonna just have a listen, okay? And if it don't upset you, it might say a lot about what you think about America, and what you know about history. But if it do upset you, then join the rest of us, because it is man alive. Listen up.
Oh, say,
oh gosh.
By the blood in the streets, that this place doesn't smile on you, colored child, whose blood built this land with sweat and their hands. But you'll die in this place, and your memory reigns. Oh,
How long is this?
It's 2 minutes.
Does this truth
2 minutes, too damn long. I hear seals.
This is not the land of the
She can take her protesting ass out this country, Erica.
but the home of the slaves.
I got some choice words.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Oh, God.
If you sweat that much just singing, it probably should tell you that you should probably get in the gym.
You got some.
If just singing make you sweat that much, there's something else going on. That's first.
Okay.
I have questions I want answered first. So I'm going to ask my 3 questions, and maybe you guys can answer, and then you can to get your take. Where is the blood in the streets, and is it by the hands of white people? Blood built this land. Please prove that it was only black people that built America. And where is the memory of black people being erased in America? Anybody know the answer to those three things?
I got the same questions. Where the blood in the streets is in Chicago and major cities.
Oh,
That's where the blood's in
I
the
know
streets.
where some blood in the streets are. It was the thousands, hundreds of thousands of people that lost their lives in the Civil War to give you freedom. Yeah, there's your blood. If you want to really talk about some blood,
She don't want to know about that blood.
thousands of people that gave their lives in order to unify this country once again from the Democrats. I want to repeat that again. The Democrats who split the country in half and then was willing to keep you into slavery. But yeah, no, we won't talk about realists or the blood of your ancestors who were enslaved by your forefathers of other tribes who sold you to Europeans. We'll go with those ones too.
Perhaps.
Damn.
Talk about that one too.
Sorry, I'm breathing shade today. I'm not in the mood.
Yeah, I mean, that was just total disrespectful. First off, there is something called the Black National Anthem, which we all know. You know what I mean? So she could have got up there and sang that. That would have been, to me, acceptable. Sing it. But for her to get up there and just change our national anthem, which is for everyone in this country, to a pro-black national anthem, that was a complete slap in the face to everyone that's died for this country, to everyone that's served this country, to everyone that's fought for actual freedom. Mm-hmm. She ought to be ashamed of herself, and it was horrible. She needs to go sit in the corner right there and be.
Can't sit in the corner.
No, she can't sit. She needs to go work out.
That's true. She can't sit.
I've had this thought recently. That's probably going to get me on the wrong side of some people, but I honestly don't think, especially leftist African Americans, want racism to ever end.
No,
like ever, because as much as they decry having equal treatment and things, they always want to be special and use platforms like the national anthem to, I don't know, ruin everything. Why? I don't get that. Like, why do you really want it to end, or you just want to like spit in people's eye? Like, that's what I really want an honest answer to. Do you actually care, or are you just grifting for money? Because I really want to know the truth.
It makes them feel good to be upset. Most of these people like her and other people that are praising it and that hate this country, that never give thanks for the freedoms they have, they're very low vibrational people. Low vibrational people are miserable. They are miserable. You can give them all reparations right now, and they're still going to find a way to complain.
Nothing's ever going to be good enough.
Nothing's going to make them happy. So what you got to do is just ignore them. Let them be miserable. Let her be miserable. But we're going to talk about her butt today.
It's fine for freedom of speech, but like I said, it's like you can have your freedom of speech. I can just still say it's stupid
and wrong
and wrong.
Yeah, and it's not historical. Let's look at something real quick, okay? Mm-hmm. So you choose the national anthem, and it proves to me that one, she doesn't know, and this is for the majority of people, I think, unfortunately, it's for the majority of people, don't know the origin of the national anthem. Mm-hmm. They have zero information of where the national anthem came from. None. They have none. They don't care either, because they are linking certain things about what they think of America to the national anthem. Mm-hmm. I want people to remember that there are two different sides to all of this. While there may have been a societal discourse going on between blacks and whites, and not all blacks and not all whites, you're talking about a certain few rich, elite white people who were majority Democrat owning black people.
Yep.
And you have a whole nother governmental side that was at war with Britain. The national anthem had nothing to do with the issues going on intercontinentally with the Americas. It didn't. It had everything to do with the war going on between America and Britain.
That's right.
Period. The whole reason for it was not a freedom thing between mankind in America. It was a freedom thing for the nation as a whole from the dictatorship and the rule of Britain.
Yep.
But when people don't know that, they want to associate that with everything going on within the confines of America now, especially now. This is what I really can't stand. I can't stand stupid people who say, "Oh, this is what you're doing as you're going to be signing your voice off for what's going. What the hell is happening to Black America now? Please tell me. What oppression are you feeling? What are you going through in America right now that you ain't putting yourself through?
That's right.
Who's oppressing you? Name me one white person keeping your black behind down. Name one. You get up every morning and you kill each other, but you talk about white people. You and your obese self eating up all the food you can get because you got that kind of money. You talking about blood running in the streets. The only blood running out of you is the pressure. You got high blood pressure. That's it. And there are a majority of you that speak this crap are fat on the wealth of this country.
That's right.
And you're the fools talking about oppression.
The only place in the world where you can be fat and homeless.
It's ridiculous to me. It's ridiculous. You are oppressed. Yet still 90% of the ones living on welfare that are black are obese.
Yeah.
But you're oppressed.
Funny
You
how
got
that
the
works.
latest iPhone, but you're oppressed.
That's right.
You got the nice cars, but you're oppressed.
Oh wait, you forgot about the iPhone too. It's like you're using the iPhone off the backs of little Chinese slaves or Uyghur slaves, more or less.
Ooh.
So
That's right.
yeah,
You're all acting
speak
like
about
house-
oppression
I
with
was- I
using
almost
slave
said it.
labor. Sure,
I
Go
almost
ahead.
said it. I almost said it. I'm not okay. You're acting like house Negroes. She is the epitome of the house Negro. I think it's about time Black America start wising up to the stupidity that you spout sometimes, considering yourself the field ones when you're not. All of you that push this racism crap are house Negroes. None of you would have survived in the field.
That's right.
None of you, because you have no idea what it means to work. All you do is use a couple of things that the white man that you say hates you so much affords you. And you go to him for your contracts, right? You use his stage and you use his platform, and you're happy to do that as long as you get something out of it, but you're oppressed. And then you go and take something that had nothing to do with you to try and assign it to you in order to make some brownie points when you're irrelevant at this point in your life. You ain't got nothing going for you. Nobody talks about you no more. So what you got to do? Cause some distraction. I have one thing left to tell anyone with this stupid mindset and think you're protesting. Because first of all, you got to protest something that needs changing. You ain't protesting the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
If you should be, what you should be doing is protesting gang membership. That's what you should be protesting. You should
Cool
be
choice.
protesting TV stations that promote twerking. You should be protesting that. You should be protesting people like Lizzo, the female Jabba the Hutt. You should be protesting that, but you're not doing that.
You're like a bigger version of Lizzo.
Right? All the
So bold
asinine
and
stuff in your
beautiful.
life is the one thing you push. The things that's killing you, you're not going to protest.
Nope.
I just have
Or-
never understood that.
And this is true narcissism right here. You know, you have a Jill Scott who lives in a mansion, who lives in a gated community, who gets on stage in front of all these black people to tell them how oppressed they are.
Yeah, I
So
love
she's
millionaire
mentally screwing with their head. Then when she gets off that stage, she goes back to her lush life and doesn't give two damns about any of those people in there cheering her protest. What is she protesting?
Right.
What did black folk build in this country since they built the whole country? Tell me what they built. Yes, we had Black Wall Street at one point. How come we can't do it again? If we built all this stuff, how come black people are living in slums today?
I'll tell you why. It's because you won't invest in your own communities. Look, okay, so like, they'll say it's like, oh, it's because of redlining and all this other stuff. It's like, we don't build Black Wall Streets because it's too hard. No, it's not. It's just when people escape, they don't go back. They don't bring their money back there. They go to the rich white neighborhoods because that's where they really want to be because it's safe, right? Why do I want to invest in a place that's just going to destroy what I brought, right? That's the real truth. I know that's going to get people to hate for that, but it's true. Like, if you don't invest in your communities, obviously it's never going to get better.
That's right.
If you leave and escape, and you go off to wherever where all the rich people live, then it's never going to happen. Nobody's going to fix it for you. That's for sure. That's why you don't see Black Wall Streets anymore, because they don't invest in the community anymore. And I'm not the only one that said this. There's other Black creators that have said this before. Is like the reason why people can come over to this country, like Asians, like Indians, right? Like Latins, all come into a community, they start a community, and they invest in their community. And that's why they succeed. That's why they can create generational wealth. But for all the things that we have today, like they'll say, oh, it's because of redlining, it's because of racism, it's because of Jim Crow. That hasn't been a thing for over 70 years, right? It hasn't been a thing for this entire time. There's no reason and no excuse why you couldn't invest it in your community. Not a one bit. So you can blame white people all day long for that, but you could have done it from the beginning because you've done it before.
And you know, to go back to Coy's point, when a Black person does make it, and there are Black people that do go back in their communities and try to invest in their communities, like he said, the Black people around there steal from them, destroy what they brought to the community to help the community, rob them, ask for discounts, or always trying to swindle them out of something. Why would any Black person invest in a community that's constantly robbing them, that's constantly looking for a discount, that's constantly trying to take money from them, that when they hire them, they don't come to work, they got a freaking attitude because they have to work? Why would I take my money and invest in something like that? I'm going to the suburbs where I know people actually want my product.
Well,
and
here's another thing too.
Turn around and blame it on a whole race of other people who are out there struggling just like the rest of us. It's bull crap. It's a lie. I'm telling you, it's a lie. And these people, these rich Black folks, use their platform to poison the minds of poor Black people. Every single day.
It's just crazy to me.
Joel Osteen.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but it's just crazy to me that the spending power of the Black community is equivalent to the GDP of Iran, and yet you can't and yet they're more concerned about Jordans, Gucci, Balenciaga. They're more concerned about Mercedes and I don't know, name a supercar. They're more concerned about a luxury lifestyle than they are about family dynamics. They're more concerned about they're less concerned about being good fathers and being good community leaders than they are about I mean, spending power of Iran, GDP of Iran, guys. Come on.
You can make a whole country function with the way they spend money. And again, not all, but the ones that identify as the Black community.
Well, look what happened to Ice Cube, right? When he said that they should work for our vote, and they ostracized him for it.
Right away.
Yes.
Yep.
Right away. They're still doing it right now because he's talking out again. Now he's talking out again, and they're calling him even worse names.
Yep. Exactly.
Okay. Now,
so he actually wants better, and then that's what they did.
I saw a video the other day of a Black business owner. I think it was in Cali. And I think it was Los Angeles, actually. And he had been robbed 8 times. 8 times in 2 years. Okay. He moved to his new location away from the neighborhood that he was trying to help. I think you know what neighborhood I'm talking about. It wasn't a white predominant neighborhood. They went there to rob him again.
Oh my gosh.
Now, God, he said to himself, there is no way I'm ever going to stay in business if this continues.
Yeah.
And so his idea was, I can no longer keep the same mindset I had before, where I'm trying to help people. So what he ended up doing was completely leaving it, just being done. He was robbed at gunpoint at one time, just leaving work. Last time that they robbed him, they almost wiped every bit of inventory out. Now, mind you, he's a Black business owner being robbed by his own people. His entire aim was to try and do what we've been saying, funnel the money back in. And the people that he's trying to help to get the community up and rising are the same fools keeping it in squalor. You want to know why the majority of people don't go help? Because y'all don't want help.
Look what happened with Target.
And I keep saying this. I think you just love being a victim. It's almost like a badge of honor to you. You just have to have it, because without it, you don't know what to do with yourself. You honestly don't know what to do with yourself. You're lost. And no matter how much we try to help, I'll tell you what, you don't want it. So, hey, B.
Question, Professor. But are these also the same clownish hyenas that will vouch for and listen to Jill Scott 100% of the time?
Yes.
Yeah.
The restaurant. Okay, making sure.
Yeah.
They'll also be the ones that'll bitch and complain when Walmart and Target leave the community.
Yeah. And another issue,
times.
within the black community is the minute they don't like white people calling them out. Remember, white people aren't allowed to talk about black issues. Oh no, shut up. You're white. You're not allowed. You have to ask permission. You get all these pro-blacks that say this stupid stuff.
Yeah.
But when a black person does it, we're not even allowed to do it. We're not even allowed to call out what's wrong with our community. So we get called the same names, and we get ostracized, and we get called all this stuff. So who's to call you out? How are you going to get better if no one's calling you for your faults? If I'm doing something wrong, I would expect someone to tell me I'm doing something wrong. But see, they don't want that. They don't want to be held accountable for the crap they do. Then they're wondering why black businesses are leaving. All these businesses are leaving their neighborhoods, and they got nothing. But they don't hold themselves accountable. They're just because we're black and they're racist, or they hate black people. Or it always reverts back to the victim mentality, instead of saying, you know what, the reason he left is because he keeps getting robbed.
But that's what I said is, like, I don't honestly think they want to stop being victims.
No,
like, I know, as messed up as that sounds, I think it's true. Like, I can't point to anything other than bitching and complaining, but not actually doing anything to fix the problem. Right? They just constantly want to play the oppression Olympics, right? Oh, my people are more oppressed than your people. Even to the point where they're fighting with Jews over it. Like, oh, we're more oppressed than Jews are. It's like, shut up. No one cares. I'm sorry. Like, they don't. Like, even the Jewish people don't care. Like they just want to move on with the whole thing. They're just like, no, we're more oppressed than Jews.
The biggest issue here to me is this, okay? You have been told. Now, you keep saying you don't want to be told what to do. But you are functioning off, and you keep saying, oh, we know the truth, we gods, and we this and we that and the other. You still can't fix crap. Some kind of god you are. Anyway, I digress.
Queens.
You've been told that there are a certain group of people that's going to help you. Okay? They're going to help you. And every 4 years, the same people keep coming back to you with the same stupid promises. I'm going to point out, and I'm going to say this right now, and it's not going to be recanted by me ever. If you are stupid enough to believe a lie for 70 years, when you can blatantly see that it's a lie and been proven out by people who stop believing the lie, you deserve everything that happens to you, and that includes the gang violence in your neighborhood where your kids get killed. You deserve it because you put your children there. I don't care if your kids get shot. You know why I stopped caring? Because you don't care. If you don't care about your children, why should I? It's not like I'm going to stop it anyway. But if for 70 years, they keep doing the exact same thing to you, and you are stupid enough to keep putting them in power, and you see zero results from putting them in power, everything they do to you, if they come downtown right now and lynch you, I will not feel a bit of remorse for you because you're stupid enough to listen to them. And you're dumb enough to push the same crap that this overweight tub of lard is singing. You will listen to the same fools that's been selling you crack cocaine in Jay-Z, who made money off your dead bodies while singing about it, and you hail him as a king. Right? You hail all these stupid, asinine, brain-dead, retarded rappers as really pillars of society, when they're the ones preaching your demise, and you're like a dumb hyena in the corner clapping with cymbals in your hand like damn monkeys. Right? But you ain't come from monkeys, but you act like it.
based.
Even animals in the zoo ain't this stupid. There are wild animals not this stupid. How in the world can you look somebody in the face, try to tell them that the people that you put in power are the ones killing you? Yep. And you turn around and want to talk about oppression this and white people that, when you are the ones enabling the so-called white man, but you don't want to look at the white man that you put in power. Mm-hmm. The same president that you wanted to vote for so much because you hated the other one is the exact same. This is how dumb you are, and I will keep calling you what you are because you are stupid. There is zero educational value to you. You don't hold any societal value either. So your demise is actually a positive thing for America. You put the very same white individual who called you monkeys in a jungle as your president, and you were happy to do it. In fact, you did it laughing and clapping all the way to the voting booth. Right? That was you. The same prison or what is it? School to prison pipeline that you complain about. The same one that put that in effect. The same two that put that into effect. You put into power. Yep. The cackling hyena, ugly, can't decide what race she is, female, and that dope head white potato in Joe Biden. Yep. You put them there. But you still want to complain about being oppressed. And you harp on the people that ain't done nothing to you while putting the people that did do something to you in power over you. That tells me one very important thing about the so-called black community that did vote for them. You are dumber than a box of rocks in the bottom of a muddy lake. You're dumb. And you deserve every single bit of damage that happens to your community. And I mean it in spades. If you live with 40-pound rats, live with your 40-pound rats. If you die of diabetes, you die of diabetes. If you die of gunshot through your window, you die of gunshots through your window. The rest of us who are thinking and don't want that crap will move away from you and have you just end yourself. Have fun doing it. Follow Jill Scott. Keep doing it. Follow people like Jill Scott all the way down to the hole. But you know what she'll end up doing? She'll help you too. She's a Pied Piper. She'll sing you, lull you there, and you're like a little, and then she'll just leave you at the gate and walk all the way back to her happy little spot in her white community, sipping her margaritas and smoking a cigar while you die.
There's a better one I was thinking of. You know the story behind the lemmings, right? That famous thing of lemmings jumping off the cliff. Yeah. But when you find out that documentary isn't real, what it was is Disney executives pushing the lemmings off the cliff. That's exactly what it is with the black community and the Democrat Party. They are pushing you off the cliff, and you're saying thank you while they do it.
And you know, the problem is that the Democrats have never changed. They've been saying this stuff to the black community's face for years. Margaret Sanger, black people were weeds. You know, they put in all these abortion clinics, all these liquor stores in your neighborhood. They pushing drugs and guns and everything in these neighborhoods because they want us to kill ourselves. Yep. And here you guys go, like good little monkeys, sheep, whatever you want to call yourselves, and you sign off on their vote because you know why? Because you're worried about what they'll take from you. They push in your head that if a Republican gets in office, you're going to lose your EBT, you're going to lose your welfare, you're going to lose your Social Security. So you're so scared of losing what the white man, these white racists have given you, that you're willing to keep voting for them and for your own demise. And it happens every year.
The racists that don't see themselves as racist.
And then when a black person who's trying to show you and tell you, like, look, this isn't like what you got, they're lying to you. We get called the Uncle Toms and the Coons and the sellouts and all this other stuff. So what do? We just turn away and go talk to people that actually want to listen. And it's mainly not black people who want to listen. It's mainly people from other races that are listening. And that's the problem. You get these Jezebels like Jill Scott. You get these charlatans like, you know, what's his name? Al Not So Sharpton and Jesse freaking Pekingese Jackson, who get up there and tell you that you're oppressed. You're oppressed, and they're living in mansions.
Yeah.
They're living the good life the ones off the backs of poor black people.
They're also the ones that convince you to sterilize your children and walk you into the operation room for you to kill your own babies, right?
Yeah.
hold your hand while you do it and say, this is the right decision because we
care.
don't need more of you.
It's care.
And
That's what they're doing to you.
And it's interesting too that with the fall of affirmative action in terms of colleges now, it's like there goes one less handout, and they're all complaining about the fact that, oh, we got to work now, we got to study and do good and get grades and all that stuff. And then you have like, yeah, and then you have these moronic toads like Joy Reid, who goes on her platform and says, I got into Harvard because of affirmative action, but I had good grades and I excelled in my SATs. And we're all sitting here going, really? Did you? Because you needed affirmative action? Because if you did have good grades, you would have gotten in. But no, they need.
That's like saying that I would get into Harvard just because I'm white. I don't think so. I do not have the SAT scores to get into Harvard. I'm sorry. Right? Yeah. You were in a better position than me to get into Harvard, and that's not because of affirmative action. That's just because you're better at taking an SAT than I am. Okay,
yeah,
that's it.
And here's the problem. One of my old TikTok accounts last year or 2 years ago, there was this young black man on there talking about police brutality. And he was in his car. This is a true story. He was in his car and he filmed a cop pulling him over. And he goes, cops hate black people. This is white supremacy. So I wrote him and I was like, show me proof that the cop pulled you out the car and you was arrested. He couldn't show it to me. So it's like you get a lot of black people from these communities that just want to say something racist happened to them. And trust me, if you talk to them, all of them have said, yeah, something racist happened to me. I walked into a store and this person was looking at me, or I did this and this. So they tie everything to racism. And then you get people like Jill Scott that trigger that thing you made up in your head, that false reality that you're living in. They trigger it to make you angry, and anger keeps you where you're at. They can't have you happy. Because if you're happy, you're going to do happy things and you're going to find a way out. The more angry you are, the more you're going to stay in place, focusing on your anger. Did
you know that the average, and I know there are some that get less and some that get more, but the average TANF and SNAP recipient makes enough to qualify for the top 25% in income earners. Now, anyone who thinks that you cannot move out of a location on that kind of income is delusional. You are in that location because you're getting it. When you can get it for, like, say, half a year and use it to get out, that's too much. When you can stay there, and trust me, the Democrats are happy to give it to you. You can stay there and keep collecting and keep the lifestyle you have without having to work a single day in your life or do a single thing to better yourself. And the instant someone threatens to take it away, they're racist. If you really wanted to better yourself, there are millions and millions and millions of dollars out there available for you to better yourself. Like, in a SNAP, you can get out of it just like that. Okay, let's put it to you this way. Say you live in New York and you're in the Bronx. Let's go with the Bronx. And you're in the lower portion of the Bronx. And you are on TANF and you are on SNAP. And you are making it, but you're not really thriving. Let's just say you are middle of the road. And there is a location in, say, Tennessee where the rent's cheaper and you can have a little bit better of a breathing room. You can actually afford a house or you can buy a house based on what you're paying right now for rent. And then you realize, hey, but I can get a job down there that will actually improve my lifestyle. But the downside is you don't get SNAP and you don't get TANF. Unfortunately, there are more that will stay where they are and deal with mediocre living than to work for that few years to build a better life, suffer for a couple of months or so in between there, and be better off. They would prefer to get handed their income than to work for it.
That's right.
That's unfortunate, but that's reality. And that's not just black. That's white and Hispanic too, because trust me, I live in an area where the Hispanics over here, they will work their behinds off and send none of the money within America. They'll send it all back to Mexico. And they'll stay illegal because they can get certain benefits. They will work under the table so they don't pay taxes. So it's not just black people. But we are talking about a very specific individual in the size of Jill Scott, who is black and speaking about black people. So I don't care about white people right now. I don't care about Hispanics, and I don't care about the Asians. We're talking about Negroes. Because apparently they think they have won the oppression Olympics. And if you're going to think that way, I'm going to harp on you. You have, like Lee said, one of the heaviest hand on spending. You spend more than anybody else. You're the ones most interested in high-end stuff and gear and clothes and drip and bling. Right? That's your culture now, right? Bling and drip and having stuff.
Mm-hmm.
When you could easily rewire that money into education, get a tutor for your kid.
Yep.
If that means you got to have him take a bus to the white area to get education, do that. Because you know what? Who's going to benefit? Your child. But you don't even care about your kid enough, but you're oppressed. You're oppressing your child is what you're doing. You're the oppressor. You have become the oppressor of your own kind, not white people.
Mm-hmm.
You got a diagram there?
Yeah, it's the black population of the United States and where they're actually all located. This is 2020, right? Majority of the populations, the biggest density is all in major U.S. metropolitans on the East Coast, all on the East Coast or in the South, right? Look at all that free land up in the North.
That's right.
Why, after all of these years, are you still congregated in cities and on the coasts?
And I can tell you why, because I've talked to, black people. And one of the reasons that they don't move to areas like that, the first question they ask is, how many black people live there? And you've probably heard it before.
Yeah.
Are there any black people there? How many black people live there? There's not enough black people for me. What the heck does that have to do with anything? You know what I mean? I don't move to a place looking for people that look like me. I'm looking for safety and security and jobs. That's it. If there's not there ain't one black person on my block. Not one.
Didn't stop you from moving there.
Didn't stop me from moving. Didn't stop me from getting out there, getting it. Because I don't look at people like that. And that's the problem. Instead of going to a place where they can be like, man, I have a skill. I can move to this area, man. But how many black people live there? Why does it matter? And this is why they get stuck in those areas, because the majority of the populace look like them. And it's a tribal thing. They want to be around people that look like them, regardless if you can relate to them.
Or whether they're helping you.
Yeah.
Right. Here's the thing that I want to point out, too, that's interesting about this map. Much as the Democrats and the left says that the South is racist, why is the majority of the black population still in the South? I know historically why, but I'm saying, why are they still in the South is a bigger question, right? Because this center line right here between Arkansas, right, Louisiana, right here, all the way up and down, that's majority black population. That's over 80%. More than 50% are black in that line right there between Arkansas, Louisiana, and I think that's Mississippi. I'm trying to remember my geography for a second. Anyway, because next to it's Alabama, and Georgia, right? All of these places are majority black, right, in the South. So it's kind of nuts when you think about it like that. And everything else in the Northeast is less than 2%. Right? All of that section in the top is less than 2%.
Look all the way.
So there's tons of places in the United States for you to move to that are better than the cities that you're living in.
That's right.
Right? Look at all of that land. Look at all of that possible farmland. Everything over there. There is possibilities everywhere. But all they want to do is say that you should stay in the cities. They never try. The Democrats will never tell you to get a trade job or to go into farming. Did you know the average farmer right now is 65 years old? Right? So there's not enough people to go into farming. And that's going to be a big industry in the future when there's not enough people. It's right now it's already being taken over by people like Bill Gates, who's buying up all the farmland. All that land could be yours, and it's a profitable business to get into, but nobody's getting into it. Especially African Americans, which is something they could do. Anybody could do it. It's crazy to me.
On a side note, I'm not African American.
Okay, whatever.
Just American.
I'm American.
So look at
Black
this.
Americans.
Look at this real quick here. Okay, this is population. Just look at this right here. Okay, so we have a dichotomy going on. So we have the whites on top here. This is them. Okay, at 196. Hispanics at 62. Black people at 41. Asians 19. Multiracial 7. American Indian 2 million, and Native Hawaiian 500K. Now, this is the crazy part. Between this and this, that's almost flipped when it comes to income. This is still half of what they make. And they are almost half, less than half of the population when it comes to Black people. So make that make sense. If the population between Asians and Blacks are doubled in amount to the Asians, yet still the Asians are making ends meet exponentially more than African Americans, is your minority status really what's keeping you down? Well, let me add one more caveat. Music is built around Black America. Every film now is built around Black America. Jobs were built around Black America. This is what you said, Black America. Yet still you don't have a single piece of the pie by your own decisions. Asian people are half your population. They're half. But you know what else they also are? They're not even remotely in your league when it comes to crime. Not even remotely in your league. You outdo everybody when it comes to the negative crap, but you underperform in everything positive. Make that make sense. You're leading in abortion. You're leading in being uneducated. Okay? You're leading apparently in the oppression department too. Right? You lead in all of the negative. You lead in homicide. You lead in theft. You lead in larceny. You lead in a whole bunch of stuff you ain't supposed to be leading in. But you complain that you can't make it. You're oppressed. There are people. Let's look at the Native American people. They are in poverty. They will get money. They got their reparations, right? Mm-hmm. And the people that are in charge of Native American, what do they call those places? That reservations?
Reservations, yeah.
Reservations, yep.
Keep all the money because you know what? They're the leaders. And this is where you're heading to. Keep an eye out. You're going to be there next. All their leaders are making the money.
Yeah.
All their leaders get to the government and collect said money. You know that they tried it with BLM on you, right? You know that was a trial run, right? To see how well you'd pay into it and give them you did it. You told them we want to be just like the Native Americans. Give the leaders all the money and just put us somewhere. And they're already starting to do it. They funnel you into a certain location. It's your own reservation. Your ghetto is your reservation. They put you there and you gladly go there because you know what? You don't have to work. You can just be there. They offer to you, you take it because you know that's how you work. Then you put your black leaders just like they had their leaders. They're getting all the money. They're rich, just like Al Sharpton. Watch me. And all of a sudden now, they're the ones that are going into squalor. And crime is high on the reservation, by the way. So is rape and abortion. Yep. All of that stuff is high on reservations. You think you're that far behind? The only thing you're going to outdo them by is number. You're going to do it better. You're going to do it better because you've given into it. And then you want to get mad at the ones of us who don't want to join you in that crap. Mm-hmm. We're joining the white man. We speak white. We talk white. We act white. Right? You get educated. You want to be like the white people. If being educated is being white, yeah. I'm Cracker. Call me Cracker all day long.
My name is Chad.
I'm a Chad. I'm a Chad. Okay.
Why do you think they call Asians white adjacents?
Because you're
the model minority. You know, that's what they say.
So this whole oppression bull, this whole oppression mess, to me, it will keep you in a mindset that when you don't get what you've been used to, it's racist.
Mm-hmm.
When you don't get what you want, you're like a damn 2-year-old too, by the way. It's racist. When people call you out, just like a 2-year-old on your BS, it's racist.
Ooh,
when you see something
going.
that you don't like, it's racist. I am not going to hire you because you look like me. If you're stupid, you're going to ruin my business. I'm not hiring you. If you don't fit the bill that will help my company because it's my money, I started this business. I'm not going to hire you just because you look like me. That's stupid. If you don't help me, I'm not giving you the job. If,
Damn
however,
right.
you come to me and you're part of this lower income bracket and you're part, of the blacks, going to ghetto and all that stuff, right? And you come to me and you want a job. And every day you come back to me and you said, I really need this work. And every day I tell you, you're not qualified. And every day you go home and you get information about the job and you come back and you tell me something new. And then you come back again the next day and you tell me something new. I'm going to see one very important thing. You are putting in effort. And even if you don't know the job, you're proving to me that you want what you say you want on your own accord, not based on the pay. And I will hire you.
Yep.
You know how I know that happens? Because I did it. I went into electronics and I was good at it, but not great. Never touched electronics when it comes to home security. I applied for home security, the job, didn't get it the first time. Didn't even get a call back. I went and did what I had to do to try and learn a little bit of it. And I bugged this person the person I sent my application into. Every day I called this man and I dropped something new that I learned. Now, mind you, he was looking at a Hispanic person. He was looking at a white person. He was even looking at another black person. And the black person had qualifications that could get them the job. You know what the black person never did? Call him back. Didn't even care. He just thought with the qualification that I got, I'll be fine. And I'm black, I'll get it. Every day I called this man until one day he said, no, boy, just stop. You just stop, please. Please stop bugging me. I'll have you. We'll do an interview. Fine, we'll do an interview. So we did the interview.
Yep.
You know what won him over was not what I knew, was what I wanted to know. He understood that I was not satisfied with just being. I wanted to be more. That got me the job.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with telling people that they're not enough or somebody doesn't want them because they're not enough will keep them in that location of not enough.
That's right.
Especially when you hand them stuff that says you don't have to. And if they don't want to give it, here, I'll just give it to you. You create a whole nation of weaklings when you do that.
Yep.
And you don't want to have that happen. You trust me, you don't want this nonsense. But they keep pushing it. And the more you can have victim mindset, the better off the people that want you there will be.
More control they have over you. Hey, I sent Coy this chart. Look at this if he has it. Look at this chart. I just sent it to you. But this is true when it comes to when we were talking about racism, when it comes to white people and how black people look at white people. And, it doesn't matter what the white person does. They're never going to win black people over because of this mentality. If you can pull it up.
Yeah, I got it.
All right. And this is true. So look at this. Look at this chart. So if white people move, if white people move out of a neighborhood, it's white flight, racism. And look on, moves in, it's gentrification. Oh, that's racism, and it just keeps going on and on and on. You see what I mean? If you see, it's racism.
Yeah.
Doesn't see color, it's racism. Ignoring, it's racism. So what do they have to do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Die.
It eventually makes people disengaged with your community. Like, that's all it's going to bring about. Like, why would I engage with a person that doesn't like me to the point of everything that I do and every action that I take is racist? But no matter what it is.
If you disengage, guess what it is? It's right there on the chart.
Racism.
Yeah.
It's racism.
And honestly, this kind of stuff, I had a friend literally during the BLM riots and all that stuff. literally expressed, you know what, because of all the stuff that's going on, because I'm just nothing but a straight white guy, like I'm getting more and more prejudiced against Black people in general. And it's just like, that's a scary thing to be pushed.
It's a scary reality, but it's true.
Yeah.
All they do is create more racist. When you really think about it, at the end of the day, what are you doing?
That's what they do.
You're making everything race-based to the point that people do not want to engage with you and create negative stereotypes about you because of how you act, right? I'm sorry. It's like, if all I see every day and all day is nothing but a bunch of Black dudes breaking into stores and ripping things off shelves or beating people in the street or running cars over people and all this other things that you see on TikTok and on Twitter and on Facebook, eventually people are going to go, hey, why is it only Black people doing this? Right? And you could say it's racism all day long, but there has to be an issue for it to happen in the first place. And so people will make a generalized stereotype based on that. Right? And the data even backs that up. And they'll say it's racism all day long, but I'm sorry, the proof is in the pudding, my friends. It's on video. It's caught in 4K. I don't know what else you want me to do. Like if I see a Florida man fighting with a gator out in the freaking swamp, I'm gonna assume if I see enough of those videos that Florida dudes like going out into the swamps fighting gators. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and you know what? Something Joe Scott could have done. She could have done the national anthem, and she could have got up there and told Black people, because the majority of people there were probably Black, a lot of them. They said, "Hey, we got to do better in our community." That's the type of stuff these celebrities like that need to really preach, because believe it or not, a lot of Black people and young Black kids, they look up to these people. I don't look up to none of them, but they do look up to these people. So if you're getting up there and you're preaching this I hate America pretty much, and this country has blood in the streets, you're influencing those young minds that are still fragile. You know, and then Black people don't want to get out there and get it. They just want to protest. That's all they ever do, protest. And what does your protest get you? Nowhere. Where has it gotten you? Nowhere. A protest hasn't gotten us nowhere since the Civil Rights Movement. And all the rest of these
meanwhile,
sorry, go ahead, Jay. Like,
I was just gonna say, meanwhile, you have an intellectual Black kid who loves math, loves science, loves reading old school books, loves reading history, and he's well versed and he's articulate, and all of a sudden he's a problematic child because
he's a problem. He's wanting to be too white. That's going to be the thing. He's going to be beaten every single day about how white he is, right? Until the point that he gives up being in STEM. And you did that to yourself. You did that to your own community by doing stuff like that. And here's the other generalization I wanted to point out. If you see enough rednecks with no teeth and looking like they're on meth, you're going to assume that a lot of rednecks do meth and have no teeth. I'm sorry. That's how stereotypes work. If you see enough of a thing, you're going to assume that's how most of things are. Because that's just
bad Asian drivers.
Exactly. You see enough of it.
If white people start dying quickly, they're gonna say that's racism too, because they're trying to get away from Black people, so they've been killing themselves.
You're dying too fast. You gotta wait for us. Okay.
I mean, look at Walmart and look at Target. Look at all these major corporate companies that were moving out these Black neighborhoods where they were rioting and burning down stuff during the BLM, the hot summer, whatever the heck you call it, the summer of rage,
summer of love.
The summer of rage.
Summer
of
summer Let's call it what it is.
Yeah, summer of rage. So you had like all these major businesses and all these business owners moving their businesses out of those neighborhoods. Oh, they're racist. They want us to starve. They want us to do this. Look, if somebody
about that,
if every day somebody was breaking in my house or a riot, somebody was breaking into my house, stealing my stuff, would I stay in that neighborhood? No, I'd pack my stuff and I'd leave that neighborhood. So good on them. Good. The funniest thing about them, take your business somewhere and let them soak in their poverty like they want to. That's what they want. They want poverty. They don't want to rebuild. They want to destroy. They want to litter their neighborhoods. They want trash everywhere. You know, that's what they want. Let them have it. Why even try to help fix it? Let them have what they want until they start, like Marlon said, until they put in the effort to fix it. I wouldn't even put, if I was in charge, they would get no money from me. None.
The funniest thing about 2020 was the fact that you had a bunch of white liberals going to Black communities and burning them down and saying, hey, we're doing it for you.
Mm-hmm.
Because nobody wants to talk about that, or the fact that in Portland or whatever it was when they had the cop up there that they shot 2 Black kids that were just joyriding around, and nobody got arrested for that. Not a single person went to jail.
David Dorn.
And David Dorn
Yeah,
as well,
I
getting
remember.
shot in the chest, right? And here's the other point before we can move on to the closing. I wanted to say, why is it that they always want to, they say that the system is racist and also oppressing you, but then you want the same system that is racist and oppressive to help you out of the situation.
You know what that's called? You know what that's called? Stockholm
Idiocy.
Syndrome.
Yeah, that too.
Stockholm Syndrome is where the oppressed love the oppressor. And they're scared to say something to the oppressor, which is not your average white man. It's these suits up here making all the decisions. Those are all our oppressors. White, black, Asian, all races. These people are the ones oppressing us. But in order to keep the master happy with you and not take anything from you, you're going to do what the oppressor says. It's Stockholm Syndrome. Yeah. You know, instead of you standing up saying, I don't want nothing from you.
Yeah.
And they know they know they're gonna get your vote because you're scared to lose what the oppressor's giving you. And that's just a little nugget. Here's your little check every month. Go over there and be a good citizen. Go over there and be a good citizen and make sure you vote for me. I promise you this. And they don't follow through. And you know, real quick, and everybody talks crap about, you know, the Trump. Trump, since my existence, really, since I've been voting, he's probably one of the only presidents that have came through on what he said he was going to come through on. So before you judge him and all the media hype, look at what he's done and look at the promises he's made. And he fell through. He followed through on a lot of them.
He's a racist.
But he's a racist.
Yeah, he's a racist.
You know what? Black America should do? They should take a page out of the Asian book and beat their kids if they get B's.
Yeah,
I'm saying
they used to. Okay, no. I'm glad you said that because I used to get beat. They used to.
Yep.
It used to be that if you came home and didn't do your homework, pop, 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 pop. Not today. You don't do your homework.
Yep.
You're good.
I remember.
I'm saying I firmly blame white liberals who would say, "You who spank your children, that's abuse. Naughty minority, don't do that."
I remember getting my report card and having some C's on there. You know, right. And they, you know, when I got to like 11th grade, they used to give us our report card to take home. Or you used to wait by the mailbox when you were young because you knew your grades were going to be bad. You try to get it first. And you knew what was coming if you didn't get good grades. Nowadays, what a lot of these families, they just hand them an iPhone. They working a job or they don't care. And the parent is horrible.
From being honest.
And the kids are running the streets and they just don't care. Then when a kid does something that they're not supposed to do, they're crying in the courtroom, "Oh, my baby, and racism and the cops and da 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 da." No, look at your damn kid and your parenting.
Yeah,
but it's the white man's fault. You know, all of them too. You hear that on TikTok. All of them, every single one of them. They're just. It's not a race issue. Yeah, it's an economic issue.
It's always been an economic issue.
It's money.
But it's the same thing with like white people too. Is they should beat their kids for getting B's too.
But that's what they do. That's it. Okay, look, I don't know how many people know this, but a redneck will whoop a kid's butt. I mean, beat. If you got any, if it's possible to beat white off of children, rednecks will do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't even get me started. The fact is that the majority of times that you put pressure on your children to do well, as opposed to letting them suffer in mediocrity, you will have a better performing child.
That's right.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to do that, you can't expect a different result. You want to tell them that they're oppressed and do nothing, let them do that.
Yeah. That's right. Exactly. And it just hold the kids accountable. You know what I mean? I mean, a lot of people, they don't. It's just like they're done with them. I don't care what you do. And then they wind up dead or in jail. And then they're crying about their kid being in jail when it's you as the parent should have held your kid accountable. Period. You know what I mean? My kid, he's grown now, but when he was a little one, I held him accountable. Yeah. You know, great. Oh, nope, you don't get this. Nope. Or this, that, and the other. And now, you know, my kid's a very well-behaved, very respectful young man. And that's the problem. You know, these kids are watching their parents show their butt, talking down to the police, crying about oppression. And then they're just teaching their kids to be that. And just generation after generation are going to get taught the same thing over and over. And they're never going to break that generational curse. And if you try to break the generational curse, you get called all types of names. I just
Good.
keep it moving.
That must mean that I've broken the curse. That's okay.
Yeah. When you break the curse, they really gonna hate you.
Here's a good check to see if you're actually doing your job as a parent, especially if they're in their teens. Can your kids cook?
Yes.
Water count?
Can they cook? Can your kids cook for themselves?
My kids can.
Yeah, exactly.
So starve them long enough, they'll find a way.
Yeah, it's one of those things is a good check because that is the literal basics of life is to feed yourself. And if your kids can't feed themselves, then you are absolutely failing as a parent.
Period.
Right? Because like how can even the basics of life, something that sustains your actual living person, and they can't even do it? They have to rely on fast food or convenience food in order to feed themselves, or they have no idea where the food comes from in the first place. You are absolutely failing as a parent.
Period.
Yeah.
Period.
Well, listen, we have a few more things to cover come Wednesday, but we have to decide exactly where we go with it because there's so much crap happening now. It's a little bit much to keep up with, but we'll have the topic for you by the time Wednesday rolls around. So make sure you monitor the channel as much as you can. We're going to be on Wednesday, 6:30 Eastern, and we will be having another Rumble event, not this Saturday, but the following, and hopefully we'll have a guest with us. If you have TikTok, go check him out to see. His name is Sheepdog. He lives in Texas, redheaded dude. A little bit feisty, so we're going to try and calm him down for the podcast. And I think what we might tackle on that is the Freedom movie, and deal with everything that it deals with, and I mean everything it deals with, including the blood part of it. So look forward to that point. We will discuss that on the Rumble podcast, and we'll have the topic for Wednesday come by tomorrow. I would think by tomorrow we'll have it up. So just look for it. But in the meantime, and in between time, thank you for showing up today. And Mr. Lee,
like, share, comment, and subscribe. Happy Monday, folks. We love you. Peace out.
we out.